welcome to Voices from the Field. This is Katie Lively and Jayden Mount here. We have Anna Hinde today with us. She is a Florida State softball commit, class of 2025. She plays on Team North Carolina Hinde, and she was ranked number 2 last year for the class of 2025 Extra Elite 100 as a catcher and third baseman. So thank you, Anna, for being here. And just tell us a little bit about yourself. Take us through your journey from starting the sport of softball to where you are now.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you guys so much for having me. It's an absolute honor to talk with you guys today. But to start, I played a lot of sports growing up. I was in basketball, swimming, tennis, golf. I explored a lot of sports, and then I started softball a little later than most, at around 8 years old. So I started just in a normal rec league here locally. And then once I found out, I was asking my dad to go back and practice, and that was the one sport where I found myself doing that. So my dad was like, you know what, I think you might really like this. So he decided to go on and create our travel team, which is now Team North Carolina. I started out not really playing much my first few years because I was the youngest on the team. We used to be a team of just 23s, so I was kind of an outlier being a 25. So I had to work really hard to get up to the point where I'm at now. So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Right.
Who were you influenced by most growing up?
I definitely say my dad. So he's kind of like the example I like to follow a lot of times, in the sense that he's a great leader. He runs his own business outside of softball. He runs our Team North Carolina organization. He runs my team. And then through all of this, he's just such a great sport about it. He's so kind to everyone he meets. He always wants to do what's best for everyone, and just kind of be that person in my life where I want to try and follow in their footsteps.
That's awesome.
That's so sweet. I love that. Tell us about your balance of your lifestyle with workouts, with school, with travel ball. Clearly, you've done a great job of time management thus far. So just give us a little bit on how you balance it all and are excellent not only on the field, but off the field.
Yeah, I'd say it's very difficult. But what I've started doing recently is I made a Google Calendar. And so I organize everything. One color is my lifting workouts, another color is my practices, another color is school, another color is just like my et ceteras, where it's like hanging out with friends or hanging out with family and stuff like that. So that's kind of what's helped me organize and keep everything in order to make sure I'm getting the right amount of practice in. I'm still getting all my homework done, and being able to study for tests, quizzes, and all of that fun stuff.
Wow. Love it. Big organization. Yeah. That's awesome. That'll help you a lot in college too. That's really cool. You're already starting that, because that's a good skill to have for sure.
Yeah. Kind of going into like your recruiting process, your recruiting journey, kind of tell us how your recruiting journey was in finding your home at Florida State.
Yeah, so I started going to camps very early. I started in about 6th grade. It was my first prospect camp ever. So that was honestly really frightening at first. But it really set me up for the future, which is very awesome. So that started early in 6th grade. I went to camps all throughout high school, middle school, until my sophomore year. And then I just found myself going to many Florida State camps. So I went to my first one in 7th grade, I believe. And I think I went to one almost every year after that. So I kind of just kept finding myself back at Florida State. And I obviously went to a lot of other camps too, but just something about Florida State, just kept bringing me back. And thankfully, I was very blessed to receive an email from them on September 1st. And we kind of went through the process from there, and we were able to set up a visit for the, I want to say, second weekend in September. And I decided to commit on that visit because I had that when you know feeling. So I just felt like home. Right. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's so funny because when you tell people when you know, everyone's like, oh, like that's so annoying, but it really is true. You just have that feeling. So going into that, clearly you're very successful in your recruiting journey, and you were able to get that offer, which is what everybody wants at the end of the day. And with September 1 coming up soon, class of 2026, you're starting that process. What is your biggest recruiting advice that you would give somebody that's about to enter into that process?
Yeah, I definitely say take your time and own your own process. I think a lot of times we can get caught up in the comparison game with how prevalent social media is nowadays. And you can see pretty much what everyone's doing, and we get caught up in comparing ourselves to other people's journeys. And I think just a big thing I would focus on is your own plan. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has a plan for them for the future. And I'd say be able to trust that and do whatever you can to make your journey what you want.
I love that.
That's awesome.
The best
Yeah.
advice I think I've heard for sure.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, my coach, my college coach told me comparison is the thief of all joy. So when you compare yourself to others, it kind of takes away from yourself. So I like that a lot. Yeah.
That's so good.
We know you went to a ton of camps, but what other like platforms did you use to get noticed? Whether that be social media, whether that be other platforms, kind of tell us about that perspective.
Yeah, so I think Twitter was probably the biggest tool I used, I would say, to get recruited. I'd say I posted probably like 2 to 3 times a week. And at first you weren't seeing many likes or anything. It took a minute to get there, to where you're getting all the follows from the coaches and then the likes from the coaches just popping up on your phone where you're like, ooh, they're liking my stuff. This is so cool. So I think that was a big thing. I also made a YouTube channel, which I don't think that was a big role in that, but it also definitely helped when sending emails. I could put that link in there and be like, hey, here's some of my hitting videos or fielding videos, game footage, etc., stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say I also sent a lot of emails to coaches, whether it's before tournaments, after tournaments, before camps, after camps, just as much as I can to get my name seen in their inbox.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So I know that we talk a lot about video. Is there a certain like length video that you would post? I know that's a common question of like, do we post, all of our highlights for that weekend? Do we just post small ones that are quick? What worked for you? What did you feel like was the best for you?
Yeah, so usually in one video I do hitting for let's say I just played a tournament and I'm trying to get all of the good things that happen. I'd probably do one video for hitting and then one for fielding.
Okay.
They weren't usually over a minute just because college coaches, when they're scrolling, they don't want to be stuck there for 2 minutes watching a video of the same thing over and over. So I tried to keep it just as small, compact as possible, just getting the best stuff in there.
I love that.
That's
yeah, I feel like that's just a common question I always hear. And then what do you think you're going to bring to Florida State next year?
Hopefully some versatility. I think the big theme of our class is versatility. So being able to play third base and catcher, as long as I can hit, hopefully I'll be able to, they can put me in any place they want me and just be able to play multiple positions and be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Be able to perform at any position I can. Just anything I can do to make the team better.
That's awesome. That's a good mindset to have going into it for sure. And then what are you most excited for to go to Florida State? And this doesn't have to be like softball related. It can be anything.
Ooh, I think I'm definitely most looking forward to the new relationships I'll build, even if it's not with softball teammates or with the coaches, just even with other athletes like women's soccer. We share a complex with them, getting to know some of them very well. Maybe basketball, baseball, any of the other sports, just building relationships with them, because you never know where relationships can take you, right? So I think that's something, I'm a very relational person, so I think that's something I'm really looking forward to.
That's awesome.
We have a couple more things, two little games we're going to play, and we have one more question, and then we'll let you loose. So the game I'm going to have you do with me is a this or that game. So I'll just tell you 2 choices, and you tell me which one you would choose. So indoor or outdoor workout?
Indoor.
Batting gloves or no batting gloves?
Batting gloves all day.
Yeah. Conditioning or weightlifting?
Weightlifting.
Visor or headband?
Visor.
Gatorade or Powerade?
Ooh. Since I'm going to Florida State, I'm going to have to say Powerade on this one.
Playing in the cold or playing in the heat?
Ooh, heat.
Day game or night game?
Night game.
Perfect. And then last one for me, what is your favorite uniform combo at FSU?
I love the gray on grays. They don't pull it out a lot during the season, but when they do wear it, it looks really sharp.
It does look good. I agree with that for sure. All right, Jayden, you got the hot seat questions.
All right, so we're going to go into some hot seat questions. What is your go-to pump-up song or pregame ritual that gets you in the zone?
Ooh, See, I'm not a big like music listener before games, so I'm more of like a routine. I have to put on my uniform the exact same way. I have to
There you go.
brush my teeth, wash my face, do all of that in the exact same order in the morning. Like very weird about that, but yeah.
That's
Gotcha.
good.
If you could change one rule in softball to make the game better, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think not being able to review runners leaving early. I think that was so
Oh
prevalent
my gosh.
this
Yes.
season. I don't like that rule just because if they're leaving early, I feel like the umpire should be able to see it, or else it's not that bad of a lead,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
Completely
Oh,
agree.
we're all behind.
Completely agree.
Rules,
Yes.
man.
And what's the most embarrassing moment you've had on the softball field?
Oh, I've had a lot of those. I'm very clumsy. I fall on my face a lot. But I'd say definitely in PGF, I think it was 2 years ago, I had just come back from an injury and I hit a ball to center or to the shortstop. It was a normal ground ball, and I was running really hard to first, and I just face planted over first. That was probably, especially at PGF too, I feel like that was probably not my brightest moment.
That is funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, what is your your favorite post-game snack or meal?
I love Raising Cane's. Like that is when we go out to like the West Coast or places that have it. That's always my go-to. Like we have to go to Raising Cane's. So
Okay, that's a new one. A lot of people say Chipotle.
oh, see,
Yeah,
that's
Chipotle.
too heavy. I'm not a big Chipotle taker.
Yeah,
All
Raising
right.
Cane's is good.
Yes. And then last question, what's the most unexpected skill or hobby that you have outside of softball?
Oh, I'm not very skilled outside of football, but I'd say I do love escape rooms and puzzles and stuff like that just to get the brain going a little bit. But escape rooms are definitely something I feel like I would love doing and I'm pretty good at. So yeah.
I also
And then last question for you. If you could invite 3 softball players to dinner for a night of conversation and advice, who would you invite and what would you want to talk about?
Ooh. I think Jessie Warren, I absolutely love her. I know you guys work with her, but she's awesome. I love watching her. Mia Davidson, she's from just a few minutes away from where I'm from, so that would be kind of just a cool like hometown little talk. And then Sam
Yeah.
Fisher, she is just hilarious.
she is funny.
I love keeping up with her on social media and watching her on AU, so I feel like that would just be a really fun conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you so much for sitting down with us just for a little bit. We enjoyed getting to know you and so excited to see you at Florida State. You're going to do great things there. So just thank you for being here.